Welcome to District 32, immersion, inspiration for ambitious business owners with big dreams.
Hello, my name is Lorraine Garvey of District 32, and I'm absolutely delighted to be interviewing Darren Wedge today of Oska Wellness. How are you, Darren?
I'm very good, thank you, Lorraine, and thank you for the invitation.
It's good, and I'll just share with everybody else what I've just shared with you. I was watching my health documentaries on Gaia TV, and I was learning all about, this technology. It's called PEMF. Now, I know that we've known you in the network for a long time. We've known about the Oska Wellnesses. We all have a device. We've all used your devices and had success. What massive wide-ranging success, but I've never actually dug into and learned about the technology. So I was watching this interview with somebody else, and they were telling me about, learning about this technology. I googled it, and who popped up? Oska Wellness. So Darren, what I would love you to do is tell us about the technology. What is the technology? Why is it new? Why should we care? What does it do for us? What does buying an Oska Wellness device do for us?
No worries, thank you. Very broad question.
I know.
So, the technology, believe it or not, is actually not new. It's based on what we are. So we are all in effect an electromagnetic field. So is the Earth. The sun, the Earth, and our body operates at the same frequency.
Yep.
And normally in the past, what we would do is we'd walk outside under the sun barefoot and we'd get ourselves recharged. We do less and less of that, but we've also got bad magnetism, mobile phones, computers, and the like. So pulsed electromagnetic field therapy has been used in the medical field for over 60 years.
Wow.
And there's not been one negative side effect recorded in that time for any PEMF devices anywhere in the world.
Wow.
So why is that? For our body to operate correctly, the cells need to send an electrical signal across the membrane, opening and closing the cells, getting the waste and toxins out and getting the nutrients in. That is what PEMF does. But why do we need that? If we have an injury, an accident, we have surgery, those cells get damaged. We all refer to it as I'm in pain. Well, the pain's just a signal. It is just a signal saying that there's something wrong with your cells. The other side of it too is the pain may go away, but the cells have already started their deterioration. So as we get older, the cells speed up in their deterioration and slow down in their regeneration. So we get to the 40s and 60s and we think we're still 17, but the body tells us, no, you're not. So the process that it goes through is it sends out electromagnetic signal through the body, getting the cells to actually put themselves in the best position to repair the body. So getting them into the optimal position.
Okay.
We start that by following the normal healing process, which is opening the capillaries, getting the blood flow going, removing inflammation out of the body, and thereby the pain goes away. And also our ability to move and our mobility increases.
Wow.
That's the science in a nutshell.
It's very succinct there, Darren. You'd think you'd practiced that before.
Once or twice.
But it's just fascinating. It sounds so simple. And yet we're just not having conversations like this in our daily life. People are off to the GP, we're looking for the next drug, just to block out the pain rather than trying to induce a healing environment within the body and the cells. It's just fascinating, and I think a lot of our healing. Correct me if I'm wrong here. A lot of our pain and our injuries and our sickness is around inflammation.
That's correct.
Yeah, and the Oska. I call it the Oska for short. The Oska is the new one. It's the Oska Pulse, or has it always been the Oska Pulse?
It's the company's Oska, but the product's Oska Pulse.
Oska Pulse. So that will also treat everything then. If the majority of our illnesses and our pains are around inflammation, then the Oska Pulse is certainly going to address that on the majority of all cases of our illnesses or sicknesses.
That's correct. So inflammation is one of the key issues that comes up in all conditions. And our device has just received both CE approval in Europe, TGA approval in Australia, and one of the conditions that it's improved for is general inflammation. So working on getting that inflammation out of the body. The other side too is being used for improved healing from existing conditions. So we talk about it from a pain perspective, and it works really well from the pain perspective. It's not a pain blocker. There are a lot of devices out there, medications that are pain blockers. You stop using them and the pain comes back. PEMF, which is what Oska uses, goes to the cellular level to help fix the underlying issue and get the body repairing itself and operating at the optimal. So the other side where it works really well is in wound healing.
Wow.
So whether it's from an accident or after surgery, and we've got a lot of cases where people have used it straight after surgery. They haven't had to take painkillers, or they've minimised the painkillers, but it has dramatically improved the healing time. It also will ensure that there's no scar tissue. And in some cases, you won't even see that there's ever been an incision or a scar there.
Wow. I mean, that's just, it's just like, wow, that, you know, it often sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? I mean, but your success rate and your feedback and your testimonials around the success of that is absolutely phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, it has been extremely phenomenal. It is hard to believe, and this is part of the challenge, because it's hard to believe because you don't feel anything. It's operating the same frequency as your body and puts a field out 11 inches in all directions around the device. So it doesn't have to be on the skin, doesn't have to be attached to your body. But because we're so used to either putting something in our mouth or some sort of physical activity to try and recover, PEMF doesn't need that. So people go, well, is it actually working? When you understand the science and know what it's doing at cellular level and that it's operating at the same frequency as your body, you know that it is working.
Is that right? I didn't actually know that part about the 11 inches around. So it could be anywhere lying next to, maybe helping two injuries at the same time if they're close enough.
You can actually help two people at the same time if you put it next to them and they're sitting together. In bed, a lot of people take it to bed and use it there. We have a number of people that have said that they, as a result of using it over a short to long-term period, they've actually found they're able to sleep a lot better and they're more energized when they get up in the morning. Now, that's part of the fact that not only is it working on the pain, it's actually helping you regenerate your cells quicker and slow down the degeneration. And that cell regeneration predominantly happens when we're sleeping. But if you can't sleep because of pain or other issues, that adversely affects your body and your mind as well.
Wow. How does, do you work with GPs? You know, and like, do GPs support this technology as well? I know there's a lot of forward-thinking GPs out there, or do you find, are they helping you along, or are they still a bit slow in the scientific research?
They're slow here in Australia, very sceptical. The other side too is legally they can't recommend products. In the USA, it's a different system altogether. We have pain clinicians, hospitals, chiropractors, alternative health practitioners that use it and actually promote and sell it to their products. And just recently, we've been approved and appointed by Yale Medical School.
Wow.
So, yeah, so the hospital there has approved our device for all their workers' compensation claims.
Wow, that's huge.
It is huge.
Anything across workers' compensation claims is huge. Wow, well done.
Yeah, it is. So we're just trying to get the medical industry here to open their eyes and accept it. The reality is they don't get taught it in medical school, same as a number of other things such as chiropractor and naturopathy.
Yeah.
And there's reasons that was banned in the past. We won't go into that, but because of that, they haven't learnt it. So they've got to also have the time to be able to learn it, in addition to doing their daily work and assisting patients as well. So that's part of the challenge.
I can imagine, but you guys, I've known you for a lot of years now, Darren, and you're just overcoming one hurdle and the next one and the next one. You're just knocking down all the blocks. The science is there. It's proven that it's undefeated. I can't even talk now. It's indefutable. Is that the word? It's not the word. Irrefutable evidence. So we are all wearing them in District 32. Got people coming in my house, they're in their pocket, they're down the back of their trousers, for their back, for their hip, somewhere too. one in each sleeve. And it's just because we know it works and we've seen so much evidence. So what I was saying there was, it's irrefutable, the science is there. But for people who are listening and who are thinking about trying this out, this is for any sort of injury, swelling. Can you just give us what it's not for? Can it help with broken bones, or is it more used for the pain and swelling around a broken bone?
So we have to be careful about what we say. So our approval is inflammation, osteoarticular pain, and then to be used alone or as an adjunctive therapy for improved healing from existing conditions. So we have people that have used it for fractured bones. We've got people who have used it after surgery for recovery. Some of the really terrible conditions that people live with, and unfortunately most of it is women, chronic regional pain syndrome or CRPS, fibromyalgia, and then now the government here is starting to recognise and put money into it, endometriosis. We've had success with all those areas with our customers using it for those conditions. So anywhere where there is a musculoskeletal issue where it involves the need to get rid of inflammation out of the body and improve the blood flow, thereby getting rid of the pain, it will work with those conditions.
And I've seen some photos of people before and after with bones, by the way. I know you can't say some of this stuff, but I can. And what about, you did say something around arthritis?
That's correct.
So you did mention that.
So it works both for osteo and rheumatoid arthritis. Osteo, it gets a quicker result. Rheumatoid will take a bit longer because that is involved with the nervous system, but it will work with both of them. And the good thing and the beauty about Pulse or PEMF is that as long as you drink water to flush the toxins out of the body, you can't overuse it. And the more you use it and the longer you use it, the better your health improves, not only for conditions that you purchased it for, but for a number of other conditions as well. So our inventor, for instance, Mike Walker, Mike's now 80, he's still involved in the business. He used to have terrible migraines where he'd be in a room one day a month, couldn't move. He hasn't had a migraine for over 15 years. He's been using PEMF for at least 20 years. I suffer gout. I used to get attacks probably every 3 months. I couldn't put a shoe on or walk properly for 2 weeks. I haven't had an attack in well over 2 to 3 years. If I start to feel a bit of a twinge there, I'll put the device on near the ankle. It'll cover both those areas and that will go away either straight away or it'll just be uncomfortable for a day.
Wow. And now I'm just thinking as you're speaking, all the people I know of who suffer from migraines, who have probably never tried this technology.
Well, the interesting one, if I can just go back one, is endometriosis. So the government has just committed $82 million to trying to figure out how they can assist in that area. Two of the main concerns with endometriosis is inflammation and pain, which is what our device deals with. Now, there's 172 million women around the world that live with endometriosis. In Australia, it costs the Australian, not so much a government, but I guess our country as a whole, over $7 billion a year. So each endometriosis warrior spends or loses, so if we look at it from a lost productivity, health costs and that, about $30,000 a year.
Wow.
So we have a device that's worth less than $1,000. It won't cure it, but will get rid of that inflammation, that pain, and enable people with endometriosis to continue their life like they normally would.
It's just fascinating. I would never associate that technology with something, like endometriosis. You've got a big educational challenge there, Darren, to get the word out. But yeah, I mean, I know people suffer migraines. I know people who've got endometriosis, every second person. Wow. Yeah, I sometimes just don't know what to say. It is what it is. It says what it is in the tin. Do you know what I mean? You can't say any more than that. It works. How are you educating people, Darren? How are you getting the word out there at the minute? What are you guys up to let people know?
Well, we've tried a variety of different methods. A couple of things. Back in 2018, in the United States, we won the MedTech Award for Best New Technology in Pain Management.
Wow.
So that's a global award. Very large companies go in for it. But as a result of winning that, we had a lot of the medical industry over there approach us rather than us having to go and approach them. We've got distributors in various countries around the world that are out there promoting it. But our best way is for a person that has been suffering for a long time, that purchases a device and gets a positive result, then goes back to their GP, their surgeon, whoever, and shows them what it's all about. That's opened the door on the medical side of things a lot easier than us trying to do it ourselves.
Yeah. So one happy customer telling their 10 friends.
Exactly.
And demonstrating the value.
Yeah.
Darren,
sorry, Lorraine. Yeah. So the other side too is at the moment we have a couple of studies going on in the US in the VA, Veteran Affairs. One in regards to improvement from surgery. The other is general pain management for backs and the like. We've got two studies in Germany we're about to start. One is improved healing from back surgery. The other is improved healing and pain relief from non-back surgery. And the other one that we're hoping will start in the next month or two is COVID long haul. So working on the inflammatory issues and other issues with COVID long haulers.
Wow. So that's what it's long COVID as we would know it.
COVID, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
now
we've already
there's
done
an opportunity to help a lot of people.
Yeah. So we've already done anecdotal testing on it out of the medical site facilities, but with people that have suffered from it that were reliant on oxygen, that couldn't walk upstairs or couldn't sleep properly at night. Within a week, they're pretty much close to what they were before getting the COVID.
Wow.
So we're pretty excited.
That is very excited. It's a great opportunity. Yeah. Maybe that'll be your reward for all the hassle you've had trying to get it across while we've been dealing with COVID, Darren. But look, you guys are pretty busy with all your studies. You got the business side of it as well as the medical studies. That's just an enormous undertaking to actually get it out there and let people know.
It is, but it's also something that needs to be done.
Yeah.
You can show them, and we do have hundreds and hundreds of testimonials, but the medical industry won't pay any attention to those because they're not clinically done. Yeah, so they won't see clinical proof.
Frustrating.
It is.
So, Dan, is there anything else that I should have asked in this interview that I haven't asked yet that you'd like to just tell listeners who are interested in this technology for an injury or maybe for somebody they know who's been suffering? Is there anything else that we need to know?
I guess the important thing is we're a very now society. We want results straight away. Mm-hmm. PEMF, it's not a now thing. It's not you're going to put it on and suddenly you're going to be back to normal and running around. Everyone is different. The conditions are different. Their pain levels are different. Their recovery is different, but it will work. As long as you're committed to it and using it and you use it consistently, it will work.
Wow. Darren, how do we get in contact with you? How can somebody buy an Oska Pulse device?
The easiest thing is our distributor in Australia is PEMF Technology International. Their website is Oska Wellness, which is oskawellness.com.au.
Okay.
If you go to that website, there's a number there as well, and Mike and Shirley are more than happy to talk to anyone about it.
Beautiful. Darren, thank you very much for sharing this information. Hopefully this information to go out and help a few people.
No worries. Thank you. It's what we do it for. We've seen tremendous improvements in people's lives. Yes, we might be business, but to be able to see someone that has no hope suddenly have hope and be able to live a normal life again, that's our reward at the end of the day.
Can't ask for better than that, right?
No, definitely not.
Darren, thank you very much, and good luck with it all, and I hope to see you again very soon.
Great. Thanks, Lorraine.
Thank you.
You've been listening to District 32, Immersion, Inspiration for Ambitious Business Owners with Big Dreams.